Hey guys, it's Bama Mobs here. Welcome to another episode of Fitness with Bama Mobs. As always, if you don't mind, hit that like button. It takes you about a millisecond. Subscribe to the channel. And today's video is going to be a little bit more serious. Whew. I'm going to hit this little hill here. Yeah, we're in the midst of a 2-hour walk this morning. Did legs last night. A lot of hack squat, a lot of leg extensions, a lot of leg curls, a lot of stair climber, and we're trying to push through this workout today. As you saw in the title, acclimatization is important. You got to get acclimated before you just bust up into a training routine, and it's extremely important. Now, I remember when I was in the United States Army, say what you want to about the military, but the military studies everything. The brightest in our country I was doing studies on stuff you would never think about. And they've done like years of research with a bunch of 20-somethings who have been test subjects at their disposal. One of those is, how long does it take for a soldier to get acclimated if you drop them into X climate? And most of the field manuals that I read is somewhere between 14 and 21 days. And you would think in the military that, it's just like balls to the wall, full blast, 100%, all go, no quit, etc. No, because they're not stupid. Like I said, these are the brightest that our nation offers. And we're talking about people that go to West Point, Annapolis, that Coast Guard Academy, Colorado Springs. I'm sorry, Coast Guard, man. I just don't know. I just don't know. So most text I read, field manuals, 14 days. Yeah, 14 days. And it's a graduated exposure. Number one, you live in it. So there is no air conditioning or heaters, things like that, to a degree. Let me say that, to a degree. Of course, they'll have medical areas that are climate controlled. But for the most part, yeah, first 2 or 3 days, it's just around the barracks. Maybe early morning physical training, jog, push-ups, sit-ups, nothing crazy. And then gradually, you shift it more into the middle part of the day. It's like, okay, let's go on a walk, otherwise in Army known as a road march. So let's go do a little 5-kilometer road march at noon. Everybody would have to drink water before you started. They probably stopped halfway through. You drink more water, and at the end you drink more water, get the lunch. Everybody's making sure everybody eats everything, so you keep plenty of salt in your body, things of that nature. And you got somebody watching you. Now, let's move that over to the civilian side of the house. Number one, it's just you. You're responsible, for being an intelligent adult. So if you're here like in Alabama, which is beautiful, man. Check that out. I know you want to come vacation here, but don't. I'm just joking. If you want to come, it's okay. But here in beautiful Alabama, starting this weekend, finally, we're going into July, and we're just now going to break maybe 100-degree heat index. Now, how do you get used to something like that? Now, if I was just moving to the area, I would just do the same thing. My walks would be early morning, late afternoon. I would really focus on hydration with balanced electrolyte solutions, Powerade, Gatorade, Pedialyte, whatever you want, and not Mountain Dew, not Monster energy drinks, because all that glucose in your bloodstream just sucks all the water out of your cells, your intracellular volume, and you feel like crap. So that'd be the first thing. Now, as you know, most of my workouts, I'm starting at 10:30 going into noon. Sometimes I'll wake up late. I've done a workout this week where I think I didn't wrap up till like 2 p.m. And you may be asking, well, how do you do it? Well, this is how I did it. I started in March. Yeah, I just didn't bust up doing this. I started in March. And this is every year anyway. You know, even if you live in Alabama, you know, every year you gotta get acclimated again, because yeah, most people work outside, you know, unless you're in one of the trades. I mean, most people work inside unless you're in one of the trades, forestry, logging, something like that. So you have to carve out time in your day to get acclimated. So really the best way to do it is, yeah, just be exercising year round, doing a walk year round, doing your lunch break at work. You know, get out and take a leisurely 30-minute walk. And I know what you're saying, man, my makeup, and you know, I'm just gonna start sweating, and well, maybe so, but you know, you gotta do what you gotta do. You know, you can dress up your makeup when you get back to work. If you have to change shirts, hey, change shirts. Yeah, are you gonna look odd? Yeah, you're gonna look odd, but once you get back to work and get dressed, you look the same again. You know, it just depends on how important your workout is to you. So there's not really a lot of hard part to getting acclimated, but just understand, if you're just dropped into an environment, yeah, first thing is for 2 or 3 days, you're just gonna be generally walking around in that environment with the clothes that you're gonna be wearing in that environment, and basically just getting used to it, which is another word for acclimated. And then after that, you can move into exercise, incorporate what you do, and probably on days 12, 13, and 14, yeah, you can start moving your exercises into whatever time period you usually do it, and you can feel better about doing it during this time of day where the sun's out, air may not be stirring as well as you think. But the key to hot weather environments, and even cold weather environments, is hydration. Yes, you've got to be pushing fluids before the workout, in the workout, and get hydrated back up after the workout. Talking about after the workout, most football programs, after football practice, especially full pads practice, they will weigh their players. And then whatever weight they lost, which is no doubt water weight, they will have to drink Gatorade, Quick Kick, Powerade until their weight's back up. So they definitely take care of their players and keep them hydrated. Now, do we weigh in the Army? No. But the field manuals are really interesting. It's always like based on quarts of water. And I have to stop here for a second and caution you. Yeah, don't hydrate with just plain water constantly, because if your salt in your body gets too low, there's a lot of ill side effects you can get from that. That's the reason you hear me talk about balanced electrolyte solutions all the time. Powerade, Gatorade, etc. Because if you're drinking those, you know, your sodium balance will remain constant. But in the Army, like I said, you can go read the field manuals. Interesting. It's like 1 quart of water per whatever temperature it was, and they even had activity and rest periods. Like if the heat index is like greater than 100, you would work for 15 minutes and rest for 45 by Army regulations. Now, of course, this is a in-garrison, non-combat environment where, yes, even in the Army, common sense does prevail. Why are we going to give somebody a heat stroke and we're not even fighting anybody? How incredibly stupid is that? That's one thing I liked about the Army. They always took care of their troops. I'm not going to get into other services. I was only in the Army. That's all I can speak to. All right, moving on. So we're going to wrap up the video, and just things you can take away from this. Yeah, typically it takes about 14 days to get acclimated to a new environment. You know, days 2 through 3, basically just hanging out, walking around the community. In whatever the ambient temperature is, you need to be out there like the whole day. And that's basically what happens in the military. I mean, you're living in tents. Yeah, sometimes you live in barracks, but yeah, you want everybody outside, you know, doing something basic, nothing heavy. Then move into day 5, start some light physical fitness in the morning, staying outside all day. Then maybe incorporate some walks in that midday portion, and always focused on a good diet, balanced electrolyte solutions. And you should be on your way to get acclimated and be able to get out and enjoy scenery like this. So don't sit around and miss the whole summertime. There's like, hey, it's too hot outside, I can't do it. Well, the thing is, you can do it, and you can do it safely. No one's saying go out and run a 5K as fast as you can at noon. No one said that. This is a slow, methodical getting used to it. All right, guys, appreciate y'all watching. This will wrap up the video. If you don't mind hitting that subscribe button, much appreciated. And hit the like button. Y'all have a great weekend. If you live here in the great state of North Alabama, head on up to Rock the South. Watch Kid Rock tonight. And tomorrow night, Nickelback.